One of the recent development has been around using CGM with respect to tracking and managing metabolic health. There have been few companies like Levels Health, January AI, and few others that's kind of looking at the more forefront of, let's call it, early, onset of diabetes per se. What's your perspective on that? How you see, is it a hype, or is there a real value in using CGM for that purpose?
I would say the value there is very similar to the value I just shared, which is by having a CGM, you can see how different foods are impacting your blood glucose. And Dr. Binder, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of what endocrinologists are looking at today are time and range. And so she shared a lot of the different ranges that we're talking about. But let's say, you go out and you eat a bowl of ice cream, like that's gonna, you could see how that spikes your blood sugar and how that might be different from if you, had a nice salad, right? Like that's not probably not likely to spike your blood sugar in the same way. So I think it's great. It's a great educational tool. That's what we see from Calibrate and Levels and some of these companies that you've talked about. They literally are just helping patients, or I'm not even sure they're patients because I'm not sure they have doctors and they're not actually establishing any care. So they're helping members, people understand the connection. And this is one of those things. I mean, Hitesh, you said it very clearly. This is one of the things that that's tough about our bodies, right? Like in general, we see a lot of patients that, to Dr. Binder's point, have blood sugars in the 400s, 500s, and you don't really know something's broken until pretty late in the process, right? Like especially, we serve a large Medicaid population in Texas, for example. Like they often, when people first come to us, a lot has gone wrong. It's like their blood sugar has been high for a very long time and they're starting to feel some neuropathy. And like, there's all this, there's some retinopathy, they can't see very well. And so that having a real-time device that starts to show you this and starts to show you, it's a little bit like a speedometer. If you didn't have a speedometer in your car, I'm not sure you'd know you're speeding all the time. And like, similarly, if you're not tracking this, if you're not looking at your blood glucose, you just don't know sometimes. So anyway, that's.
Thanks, Amit. Dr. Miller, what's your perspective as a physician?
So I think time and range is of course very important because that's why checking it multiple times a day using a sensor would be very important as well. Different foods have different glycemic indexes, as what Amit was saying. Basically, eating a salad versus eating a nice ice cream would definitely cause a different surge in your blood sugars. I agree with that. Trying to get a CGM approved without having diabetes or being pre-diabetic would be, I think, an act of God in this day and age. It's very difficult. A lot of times people just pay for them. They are not that expensive. In fact, a lot of people, I just say it's like buying a ticket to India. Just think about it that way. It comes to about $1,200 a year. And you could just go that direction and you would have a CGM for yourself.